Talk more about the federal involvement and response to Hurricane Harvey and all the aftermath is the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Ben Carson. Mr. Secretary, thanks for being here.
Good to be back with you again.
HUD obviously will play a key role because there are a lot of people facing real housing crises after this storm.
Well, you know, a lot of times people think about HUD much further down the road, but we're involved right at the beginning, working vigorously with FEMA. We have many people allocated to work directly with them, and recognizing that people are in distress right now. So that's one of the reasons that we're helping the states and local officials reallocate some of the funding that they have toward disaster relief. One of the reasons that you know, we've put a cessation on many of the foreclosure proceedings, insurance, mortgage insurance, rehabilitation insurance, making loans available, Section 108 loans. And, you know, those kinds of things make a big difference. And also determining where the units are that are available. We have staff out making sure where those are, determining where the people are who have been helped by HUD programs, and then matching those up. So working, of course, very vigorously with FEMA in order to get that done.
We've seen, you know, something like this, but this seems historic, back when Hurricane Katrina, and how long it took to really iron out some of those issues. Some of them still go on today. But you have 80% of the population there possibly who didn't have flood insurance. That's a lot of folks dealing with housing issues.
No question about it. It's going to be a mammoth issue, and it's going to be something that we're going to be involved in for many months and maybe even a few years. But we're going to be there for the long haul, recognizing that, you know, the home is something that is so precious to people. And it's not just the bricks and the mortar. It's the emotion attached to it. In many cases, the family memorabilia, all these kinds of things that are lost, that's emotionally quite taxing for people. And the last thing they need is now they have to go through this incredible bureaucracy in order to get any help. People can go to disaster.gov and find out about many of the things that are available to them, what can be done, but also they can find out what they can do to help others. Because one of the things that's been very gratifying as we went down there yesterday is looking at the cooperative spirit between local government, state government, and federal government. I mean, everybody who's been involved in these things before say this is unprecedented, the level of cooperation that's occurring there. And that's something we want to continue. And it's one of the reasons that we've gotten involved early so that the transition can be a seamless transition from the reactive phase and the rescue phase to the recovery phase.
And we'll continue to put up that website for people who need the help. I want to talk to you about your job at HUD. We're 7 months in. Your thoughts, concerns, your vision for where this agency is heading?
Well, you know, it's a bureaucracy, and I'm not a big fan of bureaucracies. Bureaucrats are people who think the rules are more important than the goals. So we are actually reimagining the way that HUD works right now from the bottom up, including the vision of many of the people who've been there for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, rather than just imposing things upon them. But, you know, we want to reduce the regulatory burden so that we become somebody who's responsive to people when they call us. You know, we want to develop people. In the past, HUD has been looked at as a place that just kind of puts people into a shelter. But we recognize that our people are human capital to be developed, and that's really what strengthens our country. We think there are things that we can actually eliminate, like homelessness. There's already been a great deal of progress that's been made in that area. I think we can make some tremendous inroads with lead and some of the other environmental issues that have been going on, because, you know, the health and the housing, there's a tremendous nexus there.
Yeah, you have a budget, though, where HUD has been cut for 2018 for the Trump administration, 13% reduction from 2017. You've got programs that are being cut, the Community Development Block Grants, Home, Choice Neighborhoods, Self-Help Home Ownership Program, Native Hawaiian Block Grants. And there is some criticism here, as you can imagine, about the bureaucracy pushing back, but
Sure.
also the recipients of some of these saying, well, what am I supposed to do?
Well, you know, I've seen the allegations that there's going to be a lot of evictions and people out on the street. Let me just say, first of all, our conviction is no eviction. And we will do what is necessary, but do recognize that with some of the reorganization that we've done already, we've realized some tremendous savings. This is a concept that is foreign to a lot of people in Washington, the whole concept of efficiency and saving. Having said that, the budgets are not final, and we will use whatever monies that we have in an extraordinarily efficient way. But I think we can not only shelter the people that we have been sheltering, but we're going to be able to recreate the way communities are done. We're rethinking how communities are done, too. They need to be nurturing places. They need to be places that will help children to be able to maximize their potential and not have a goal of just staying where their mother or their grandmother was.
Part of the issue, Secretary Carson, has been that the people below you, the spots have not been filled, and
you had a problem.
And the president tweeted the other day, "We're not looking to fill all those positions. Don't need many of them. Reduce size of government." This is in response to a statement by Laura Ingraham. There's an issue, though, filling those spots for HUD to work effectively, right?
I don't have a deputy secretary, you know, who is generally the person who runs the operation and nuts and bolts while the secretary is doing other things. You know, I haven't been able to travel as much because you're involved in doing what everybody else is supposed to do. I don't have a general counsel. And a lot of top positions, and a lot of it is politically motivated. Be that as it may, I've had a deep bench, a lot of people who've been willing to step up to the plate and to help to fashion things and to keep things moving in a positive direction. So, you know, it's been good. Because
you're optimistic.
I was told that I would be met by a lot of hostility from the residual previous administration, and that people would try to torpedo everything you've done. And, you know, there are a few people like that, but the vast majority of people have stepped up. They're professionals. They recognize what their responsibilities are.
The New York Magazine piece that was really kind of attacking you, "Is anybody home at HUD? A long-harbored conservative dream. The dismantling of the administrative state is taking place under Secretary Ben Carson." You would say that's not right.
I would say you should ring the doorbell before you conclude that nobody's at home. I don't think they did a very good job of journalistic investigation there.
Secretary Carson, we appreciate your time. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you so much.